Okay, YouTubers, I'm not going to go into the whole overall repetitious build of a aquarium stand. I am going to show you the basics of the way I am putting my stand together, but I think we all can look up a couple thousand different videos on YouTube about how to glue and screw and whatever. We all know we need a drill slash screw gun to put it together with ease. It's always best to pre-drill your holes for the screws, yada yada yada. I will, as far as the build goes, take you through what my basic design is, and which is going to be 3 of these, which this is not screwed together yet, but it's a 3-foot long runners, 3-foot runners here by 20 inches from front to back. The 2 shorter pieces are sandwiched between the 2 longer pieces. There's going to be 3 of those, so that'll be the top, the bottom, and a shelf in the middle. The legs I'm going to make out of 2x6s. So there's 4 of these 2x6s, and they will be screwed to respectively to the front part, or the back part, and the front part of the stand here. Very simple build. I will have some 2x4 runners that will come up on the inside to support the shelf, and from the shelf up to the top, just as an added extra safety measure. There will be a 40-gallon tank, 40-gallon breeder on there, which is a pretty heavy tank. So I want to make sure, with dirt and gravel and the weight of the tank and water and all that stuff, I want to make sure that it doesn't come tumbling down on top of the 20 below it, and I end up with 60 gallons and a bunch of dead fish and a ruined floor. So, other than that, I got a piece of 1/2-inch plywood, which I'm going to be using for the top, which will go over the full top, and I added about an extra 1/2 inch or so on the front and the back. So I got a little bit of a lip, something to sit, fertilizer bottles, tweezers, whatever, and stuff on. So I got a little bit of an area on the front there, in front of the tank, where I can use as a shelf. And the shelf itself is the exact size. This is something I decided when I was in Lowe's. I was thinking about how I was going to go about waterproofing this thing, or at least water resisting it. I do want to go with a stained stand, like maybe a cherry or a deep oak or something like that, a dark brown stain, to somewhat match the 55-gallon stand that I have in my room. So I decided that the stand itself was going to be stained. I didn't want to go through painting and stuff. I really hate going through layers of polyurethane on top, and didn't really want to have to deal with that this time. So I thought about maybe getting some countertop laminate, like we have in our kitchen. Just getting some of that, I guess it's made out of vinyl or some sort of waterproof material. And you can get the glue, which is kind of like a 2-part rubber cement kind of thing, where you put it on the wood and you put it on the back of the laminate, and you let it set up for a little bit until it gets real tacky, and then you put the 2 of them together and it makes a real strong bond. And I thought that would be wonderful to put on top to act as a splash when you're doing maintenance on the tank, when any water gets out or whatever, keep it from soaking down into the wood. That seemed like a really good idea until I priced out what it cost for that laminate. And at Lowe's, at least, the only thing they had to offer was a 4x8 sheet, and the cheapest 4x8 sheet was around $60. So, trying to keep this on the low dollar side, I decided that was way out of my budget range. I then looked at vinyl flooring as a possible alternative, and once again I ran into, it wasn't quite as expensive as the laminate, but it was still very expensive. After looking around the store a little bit more, I came across this stuff, which is it's a rubber matting, or I guess it's rubber of some sort, or a plastic of some sort, very flexible. It just comes in a roll. I think it looks like, what, about maybe not quite 3 feet, maybe 3 feet. 3 feet by enough to cover the top part. And it was only $4 for what I needed for it. So I can cut it down to size. Figured it'll work good. It's got some little grooves here and stuff like that, so if any water splashes, it'll catch up in the groove. I can always towel dry it afterwards. But I think the black will look good on the dark brown stain, and it'll help protect the top. So that's my one little difference from a lot of the other stand builds. So anyway, that kind of catches you up on what I'm going to be doing with the stand. I will do a couple of periodic shots as I'm going through this build, so you can see kind of the progress of it. But guess it's time to get started. Okay, guys, this is about I'll say an hour and a half later. I got my 4 basic boxes screwed together, trued up, and squared. I've already put the sheet of plywood on the top of the shelf here. It's going to be the middle shelf. One of those will be the top and the other one will be the bottom, and the plywood back there is going to be the very top. And then of course the 4 legs over here. That's about where we stand right now, so we'll pick it back up after I get a little further on. Okay, guys, I quit for a while earlier this afternoon when it hit about 95, and I decided I was going to finish this up this evening. Didn't go quite according to plan, but pretty close. That's pretty much what the stand looks like right now. I can put the shelf in. I got to figure out the measurements for where it's going to sit in here. I want to leave enough room from the top part here down to the top part of the 20-gallon tank so that I can get in there and work on it and do maintenance. And then we'll see what's left underneath it, between it and the bottom shelf down here for storage. One of the mistakes I made, and unfortunately didn't think about, was the fact that these 2x6s come out a little further than what I oversized my plywood for. But I've only fastened the plywood to the top with 4 screws, so there is still possibility that I could go back and get another piece of plywood and cut it a little larger and fit it to where it would fit over the top of these. Cover them. I don't know, I'll have to wait and see. I'm dripping with sweat right now and hot and thirsty for something very, very cold and refreshing, which is about to happen, so I'm going to make this quick and short. But that's kind of the way it looks like right now. 2x6s are going to give it more than enough support. Fastened it with 5 screws, top and bottom. So I think you could almost park a small pickup truck on top of this thing and it wouldn't go anywhere. So I'm not worried about reinforcing it any more than I've got it right now. I'm just going to add the shelf in when I get the measurements for it and do some fine tuning, and like I say, I might replace this top. Might take a top and put it, you can see that it does the same thing here. If it was about 1 inch larger on either side, it would have been perfect. Unfortunately. You win some, you lose some. Okay, so that's where we stand right now, and we'll pick this back up, I'm going to say in the next episode, because I don't think y'all really want to see me, go through putting in that last shelf in there. But we'll pick it up in the next episode, and we'll say that it'll be more or less a finished product, probably in the staining stages, and we'll take it from there. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next episode.